We're back.
Welcome. Welcome to the third stall, bitch. We're back.
This is our 21st episode. Can we also have a short round of applause? Actually, one of my professors will give us a single clap at the end of our accomplishments, so we'd all just go. So I'm doing that because we just had our 20th episode.
Dude, we officially have as many episodes as years you need to drink legally in the U.S.
Right. This is our 21st episode. Our podcast can drink, I guess.
No, not really. But 21 days old is a baby. It's like you really shouldn't be drinking yet. Although, start them young. I'm kidding.
Welcome back, folks.
Dude, we're already going to have a rather what's the word? Polarizing episode.
I was going to say heavy. It's been funny because it's like every other episode we've been like, listen, like why I oughta to somebody or the government. And that's just the times we live in right now.
Girl, it's just the time of the season. Which reminds me, I have to register to vote.
Please register to vote, y'all.
Okay, wait.
Go vote.
To be clear, I am registered to vote. I just need to update my voter registration.
Period.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that after the pod because I'm gonna be on my pooter. Anyway.
Yeah. Make sure you all are registered to vote and you can go vote. It is your civic duty. And it starts locally. I know everybody says that, but it truly does. Like, we're seeing that every day.
It does.
Locally.
Which is a great time to tell our Chicago listeners that this is the first time ever that every single position on the Chicago School Board is now an elected position and not appointed. For those who are not in Chicago, our school board historically has been 50% elected, 50% mayor appointed. Not anymore, bitch. The people are speaking, and you should be doing your research to find out who the CTU is endorsing and not who these billionaires are endorsing, because the CTU is made up with a body of teachers. It's in the name. It's literally in the name, the Chicago Teachers Union. And I think that they would know what is probably best for your kids because we see them every single day.
Exactly. So make sure you're researching who you're voting for. Don't just, close your eyes and pick.
That's my spiel. Oh, wait, just kidding. I have a coda to my spiel. I know Chicago does. I don't know if every major city does. I don't know if every major state does, because frankly, I say every major state because what the fuck is in Idaho? You know what I mean?
Right.
If you live in Illinois, you should also be checking out the Girl I Guess voter endorsement because it oftentimes recommends the most progressive candidates in the state of Illinois and the Chicago area.
We will put it in the comment or the description of this episode too.
I got to look for it, but I will send you the link, Donnie Pooh.
Yes, please do.
But y'all, this is an important, just like we say, we do this every fucking midterms. We do this every fucking election.
Right.
But I don't know if you've noticed, but the world is on fire. The U.S. especially is on fire. Oh my God, I forgot to introduce us. I'm Kyra, that's Donovan. Anyways. Anyways, the U.S. is on fire. Everything sucks and we're in purgatory. If you don't want data centers, if you want flock cameras gone, if you want that fat orange fuck who shits his pants every 2 business days, if we're lucky, to go the fuck away, you do need to be voting. If you are 18, you need to be voting.
I wish sometimes I don't exactly know where this falls in terms of what we can do in school, but I wish there was something that made registering to vote for high school seniors more accessible at school. Like they could register to vote at school. Because a lot of the time your school is also a polling center, like a polling place. So it would be great if seniors could register to vote at school.
If we have any educators who listen to us, And you specifically teach high school seniors because I do know in Illinois, one does have to pass the Constitution test their senior year of high school.
I forgot about that.
So
They
I'm
still do
wondering,
that?
girl, they sure do.
I did not know that. I don't know why I thought they had gotten rid of that for a second.
It's a state requirement, I believe.
That's not eighth grade? Because I know we had to take it in eighth grade too.
At least for my school district, you took it your senior year. You took it like start
Um,
of, am I lying? You either took it right before winter break or you took it right after winter break.
Interesting. I did not know that. I wonder if they switched it around.
I got a 100% because I know a thing or two about a thing or two. Which is also funny when people try to tell me about rights because
Right. As if we didn't have to get tested on it.
because I know them, baby.
But
What was that? What was that Jabuki um quote? Try me, baby. I know the law.
right. I mean, yeah,
Lord.
pretty much.
Speaking of trying it, for our thought starter, Don, I know you
Hmm.
usually do this, but I got a question for you.
Yes,
Are you sick of the fucking discourse online about literally anything and everything all the time that has to do with
absolutely.
women?
I feel like it gets tired and venomous quite quickly.
I'm starting to feel like words don't mean things,
They,
which is
I,
dangerous.
now that I started feeling a long time ago. Like I think it's been a hot minute since people spoke and like comprehended what was going on, or like I don't even know how to explain it. As a person who knows that words mean things and uses words as they're supposed to be used, y'all just out here saying anything.
I feel like it's especially dangerous that the words that people are using um, to accuse people of things. Oh my God.
Mhm.
Y'all, just a reminder, we are not on the right, but I know what I'm saying is starting to cross here. And I don't fucking play with that shit. And I need you to hear
Mhm.
me now. But I feel like some of these words that people are just like throwing at people in an accusatory way are starting to really desensitize these words.
Yeah. But I
Like,
also think that is a little bit of their intent.
see, my problem though is when people on our side of the street start to overuse these words.
Mhm.
Like, I have noticed the word anti-black has unfortunately now become a meme
Yes.
when there is severity behind that
Mhm.
in the applicable world. Luckily for you guys, we are not talking about racism today.
Right. Right.
We are, however, talking
Talking. Yeah.
about transphobia. And
Mhm.
it's, for me, transphobia is near and dear to my heart. My cousin is a trans man,
Mhm.
and I love him dearly. And I know that he wasn't happy with himself until he realized himself and
Mhm.
came to terms with who he was. And he now is living a much more full, much happier life. And
Mhm.
I think that being pro trans is extremely important. However, I don't know if y'all have been online as of late.
We are going to be chatting about the Drew Offwallow conversation.
And let us not forget that ER Fight Master, what a fuck ass name, um, was the brick that was thrown at that.
Mhm.
However, Drew has taken it to a place that is really disappointing from one
Mhm.
intersectional feminist to another.
Mhm. I think point blank period the conversation, like how are you going to have a conversation about somebody who you ain't give keys to the room? Like there should have been a trans woman at the first of all present at the center of the conversation, facilitating that conversation. Y'all, like I don't even understand how that conversation was able to be carried out without having the demographic, the people that you're talking about in the room, especially when it comes to lived experience.
Yeah.
Like point blank.
That would be like me talking about your experience as a Black woman. And then I didn't tell you about it, and you were in the room while I talked to you. And then when a bunch
And
of
then I
people,
heard it on the podcast.
well, and then everybody got mad at the shit that I said and came for you about it.
Right.
Like, if 1 + 1 is 2, and 2 + 2 is 4, what the fuck is this? I think. Okay, so one of the things that Drew has repeatedly said to people in their comments and in her 2 response videos at the time of this recording is that you needed to watch the whole podcast to get all the context. Baby, the context made it worse.
Right.
You actually sounded less egregious without the context.
Right.
And I'm really confused as to why we're like doubling, tripling, quadrupling down. Like, just say your podcast guest, because at the end of the day, you agreed with it, but you didn't say the statement. Your podcast guest said something incredibly inflammatory, which, mind you, Drew's base audience is cisgender women. And let us be so clear to the ladies who are listening. Being called a cis woman is not a slur.
It's not.
I need y'all to pack it up. It's a scientific descriptor. And if you don't believe in science, you shouldn't be listening to our podcast anymore.
Right. We've said multiple times, this is not the place for you if you don't believe in science or fact or equality. This is not the place for you.
No. And I think what's incredibly frustrating is, like you mentioned, there was nary a trans woman in the room. But also, several trans women reached out to Drew via comment section, via whatever, and was like, because you and your guest said this, we're all now being attacked. And the only thing that Drew did appropriately in her response video, like her more recent one, was that she did say, like, as a result of my actions, trans women are now being attacked online. And so, like, thanks, I guess, for taking accountability for that. But
something that was crazy to me was the speed in which it happened. Because I feel like that her episode came out, clips of what she said came out, and then immediately, like, all up and down my TikTok For You page, trans women getting attacked in their comment section. Like, are y'all okay?
I just don't understand what trans women did to y'all.
Right.
And this is why it's not just protect the dolls, it's arm the dolls. But that's... Y'all don't want to talk about that.
They don't want to go there.
Y'all don't want to talk about 9/11. It's incredibly frustrating. However, I do want to note that I have also noticed cisgender women experiencing a sort of fatigue with the queer community. And it's really fucking annoying because some of the biggest allies to cisgendered women as a whole have been both the queer community as well as trans women. And I'm not going to sit here and, like, play devil's advocate because I do think that women, like, girl, like, y'all, please. Cisgendered, especially straight cisgendered women, like, please gather yourselves. Like, if this doesn't apply to you, then, like, what the fuck? Like, why are y'all all up in arms about this? Especially because, like, transphobia affects you too. God forbid you have a little bit more testosterone in your blood. Right. And people start witch hunting you down too, wanting to look at what you got between your legs. Like, transphobia affects you, homophobia affects you. Like, this is what you understand when you're...
Every issue that we're trying to combat individually intersects.
Yes.
And I feel like no one is realizing that. Everything that you all or people try to isolate, you can't do that. No. Because you can't fight one without fighting the other. Everything is connected. And people are just, I don't even think they're failing to see it. I think they just don't want to.
Well, and that's what I mean by the fatigue of it all, right? Like, because earlier this month, slash tail, like the tail end of
Mm-hmm.
July, there was a big discourse going on. And I think we might have spoken about this in an episode, or
We
maybe
did about bisexual men.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
where straight women started acting like they were being walked around with a gun to their head, being forced to fuck bisexual men. When the real conversation that was being had was if the only reason you will not entertain a man who is bisexual is because he's bisexual, you have to understand that that's a biphobic frame
Mm-hmm.
of reference. And you know what? If you want to be fine with being biphobic, that's your business, not mine. I don't have to live with you every day. I have to live with myself every day.
Mm-hmm.
I know that a deal breaker for me with men is, a, frankly, I have several. But a deal breaker that I have with men, prime example, is like learned helplessness
Mm-hmm.
because that's a skill issue, not something that they cannot change about themselves.
Incompetence,
Oh,
inconsistency.
but bro, like the gag of it all is that if a man didn't tell you he was bisexual, you would never know.
Mm-mm.
So like, what is the Y'all just are looking for a reason to be upset about shit, and that just is what it
Right.
is. But fine. You know what? Women are pissed off about that. Fine, whatever. They got over that, and then this
Here
podcast
comes mm-hmm.
with Drew and ER Fight Master comes out. And it's a whole other can of worms where cisgendered women are being pit against yet another thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I mean by I feel like cisgendered women are starting to express a lot of frustration and are starting to speak a little bit, well, not even a little bit, with a lot of vitriol
Mm-hmm.
towards communities that are not traditionally theirs. Because here's another situation where their womanhood is being, to them, to be clear, to them,
Mm-hmm.
is being attacked through the lens of somebody else. And I'm going to be so clear. Like, I get it. Drew has a fraught relationship with her womanhood and her femininity. She's spoken about this.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I understand to an extent where you wish that you viewed womanhood the way that some of the trans women that you've interacted with viewed it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a mindset change that you have to make. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot generalize a group of people because of how you personally feel. And then to turn around and tell people who disagree with you, first of all, ER Fight Master saying, okay, well, then you're racist if you disagree with Drew. Bitch.
What? That's another word that is just losing its I don't know, grip. Like,
It's like, maybe I disagree with her because what y'all said is fucking crazy.
right.
Because, like, womanhood is womanhood is womanhood. It's not
Mm-hmm.
better or worse depending on whether you were born and exist as the gender you were assigned at birth,
Mm-hmm.
or you were born and exist as a gender that you were not assigned at birth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't fucking first of all, we care way too goddamn much about how people are presenting in society. I don't think I've ever given that one fuck, not two fuck, a red fuck, nor a blue fuck.
No. And it's a sick fascination, I feel like, with a lot of people who especially the ones that are on the more like traditional conservative side, it's like they lock in. They lock in to such like a ridiculous degree that it's like, are you good? Are you like, is this like, what is going on?
It's just
I don't
like
understand the need to like dig and pry and like, well, what are you actually? Well, what were you born as? Well, then what's going on? Like, it's only gotten worse, I feel, over the years. Like,
um
our,
I would agree. I think conservatives have made the trans populace like
Mhm.
this boogeyman character.
Mhm.
And it's really jarring to me because these people have never done anything to you. God forbid a trans woman is like decent at volleyball. Y'all are ready to
Right.
rip your hair, clean out the follicle. Like, who gives a fuck?
It's
Like,
ridiculous.
who gives a single fuck? Not what, like, it's one of those things where the easiest solution to all of this, right, would be like minding the business that pays you.
But you know they can't do that.
It's like y'all. First of all,
It
half your
pays them to do that.
first of all, half of y'all on the far right don't have jobs to begin with, so you should focus on that. And then like a third of you are barely above the poverty line, so let's focus on that. And then some of y'all are billionaires, so it's like you're getting paid for exploiting so many other people. Why are you tripping about trans women?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you give a fuck? Like, I will never ever understand, and I'm very blessed to know like a not insignificant amount of trans people and like learn about their experiences. Like my circle of friends is very vast. It's very wide. I'm very blessed to know people of different races, economic backgrounds, genders, sexual orientations. Like I know like girl, my circle
Mm-hmm.
is the melting pot.
Mm-hmm.
I heard American Dream and I said, "Okay, everyone get in." Like, but I've never in my fucking life cared about what y'all got going on.
And I feel like, you know what, I agree. But I also want to say to the women who feel like they're threatened, come here, sister. Come close.
She's gonna hold your hand with a napkin in between.
I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. Nobody's denying or coming for your womanhood.
No.
The womanhood boogeyman stealer that's under the bed does not exist. No one is denying your womanhood. What I need y'all to realize is that two things can exist at once and both be valid. You have our lived experience as cisgendered women, fab, love it. You have trans women's existence, which is also beautiful and valid. Two different experiences, first of all, both still looked at through a patriarchal lens, with men still trying to put us in a place and deny us access to our own bodies. Hold that, swallow it, digest it. Still fighting the same villain together. But what we're not going to do is say one is more invalid than the other or one is better than the other, because that's just not true. They're two different experiences that are incredibly valid within their own right and exist at the same time. Like, give it a rest. Focus on all the rights that are being stripped from us as a collective. As a collective. Why are we fighting each other?
Dude, I want to be so real. The FBI and the CIA did a big one with this division using a non-binary lesbian who's the same shade as me. So such discord between two groups of women. Like, because that's the point, right? The point is to other.
Mm-hmm.
And what better way to other than to punch down on an already extremely punch down upon populace?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the way that people speak about trans people and trans women in particular
Mm-hmm.
is some of the most vile, uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
violent rhetoric that I have ever heard in all of my life. Like,
In the way that at the same time they speak about trans women in this disgusting, punch down, degrading kind of way, they also fetishize them. And it's like,
it's wild because the same trans girls that y'all are running your fucking mouths about, you're also in their comment section going, "Where'd you get your lips done?" Like, "Oh, your nose looks so good. Where'd you get it done?" You cannot ask a community for their trade secrets and then call them men.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's disgusting. It is disgusting. And that is one thing, like, y'all, as fucked up as the shit that, like, Drew and Fight Master continue, the fact that this fucking bitch's name is Fight Master.
I still don't know who they are.
The fact that that's their name, that they go by on the internet, spare me. But the fact that Drew and their guest
Mm-hmm.
caused such a discourse that then opened the floodgates for cisgender women to just like unleash the wrath of like, oh, well, they're men at the end of the day. They're not men.
No, they're not.
That's the point, is that they're not men. Like, it goes both ways. Just as
Mm-hmm.
Drew and and their guest on their podcast cannot speak down on you as a woman,
Mm-hmm.
that does not then give you the affordance to speak down on trans women as if
Exactly.
they aren't real. Because let's be so clear. This struggle, while unique in some ways, namely trans women and their ability to access gender affirming healthcare,
Mm-hmm.
cisgender women and their right to and trans men and their right to accessing reproductive healthcare,
Mm-hmm.
unique in their own right. But like you mentioned earlier, we're both still fighting the fight about access to our own bodies and the
Mm-hmm.
permission to touch our own bodies. I think that what really fucking threw me about that shit was when Fight Master made that comment on like your womanhood is not based on your ability to be sexually assaulted. That's the thing that I have noticed neither of them are acknowledging, because I think they know it was fucked up and they have no recourse for that.
How would they come back from that?
Like, first of all, trans women are violently assaulted, both physically and sexually, at a disproportionate rate.
Exactly.
Second of all, the word ability is where I'm getting a little fucked up.
That's also what made me like move back, because what are you talking about? The ability to be.
All right. Ability implies
Again,
skill.
words mean things.
Ability implies skill. No woman, cisgender or trans or otherwise, is capable of the skill to be sexually assaulted. Because in order to have a skill, that implies all the other things that come with the word skill and ability.
Let me go practice.
Like, what the fuck?
What?
And is that not because their whole thing too is like you fucking, it's like the misogyny and you guys are transphobic and the turf and blah blah, and it's like a lot of people are hung up on that specific sentence. Nobody's basing their womanhood around the quote unquote ability to be assaulted.
That is the most outlandish thing I think I've heard this week. That was the most outlandish thing I've heard this week. Honestly, I don't even know what to say to that, because that's just crazy.
It just really bums me out that the level of defensive, like that there's a level of defensiveness coming from the two of them. Because it's not just cisgender women who are upset about this. Trans women are deeply upset about this. Because you essentially pit both halves of your audience against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And if you both are having this beef about womanhood, that's a you guys beef thing. But you brought it to the internet. And don't get me wrong, I know the podcast episode was from a year ago, but y'all reposted it to your page, and then a far-right white supremacist took it upon themselves to make it an issue, and it went viral again. But it's like, there is a level of culpability that you guys do have to accept.
Mm-hmm.
And a level of accountability that you do need to take, not just to trans women, but to cis women as well. You offended and damaged both groups of people. Like, great, you apologized to the way that trans women had to receive your comments, despite neither
Which
of
was
you.
the least. That was like the bare minimum.
But you invalidated an entire gender's experience and limited it down to their ability to like bear children and be feminine. When not everybody's womanhood and not everyone's just like definition of womanhood is around femininity.
Which in itself is incredibly, dare I say it, problematic.
It's
Uh,
misogynistic. Let's be so
like
clear.
for them to even base that off of what it is to be a woman. Because let's also be clear, not every woman has the same definition of what it means to be feminine, trans or not.
Like,
So,
if you ask a group of women to define womanhood, every single one of them is going to have a different definition.
exactly.
If you were asked the two of us, we would probably have two different definitions.
And to boil it down to ability to bear kids and sexual assault is crazy. Those are the two.
It was also boiling it down to like, I'm paraphrasing,
Mm-hmm.
but one of the other things was like, womanhood is not like your, or they said something along the lines of like, it's either womanhood is not the ability to be soft, or trans women view womanhood with this like beautiful softness. And first of all, you're still speaking for trans women. Neither of
Right.
you are such.
And right.
But also, I would argue that there's a wide number of cisgendered women and trans women that do not necessarily associate their definition of womanhood with the ability to be soft.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Me either.
Like, but also, there's a ton of women, cisgender or trans, that may view womanhood as the ability to be soft. But that's the thing, is like boiling it down to a less than multifaceted viewpoint is
Mm-hmm.
inherently problematic.
Mm-hmm.
And words mean things. And so the fact that the two of them are in their comments calling people who disagree with them racist and turfs, like, first of all, this is like the square rectangle thing. You can be transphobic without being a turf.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the to define turf, for those who may not be familiar with that phrase, which although it's 2026, you probably should be at this point. Um, but a turf is a trans exclusionary radical feminist. There are some people out here who are not radical feminists, who aren't feminists at all, but are just trans exclusive and transphobic.
Mm-hmm.
And so to be out here calling every single person who doesn't agree with you a turf, first of all, just like is not accurate. There are some people in your comments just blatantly being transphobic.
And that opened the floodgates for all of them.
Like,
Not just in Drew's comments, but in every trans, I would say, that I follow, especially Kay Poyer. I don't know if you don't if you follow her, but her last post, she was like, great. Like literally the armies are coming in her comment section, just like how, and not to like take a turn off the conversation, but I was also looking at one of Jackie Aina's videos popped up on my For You page. And she was saying, now she's a cisgender woman, but she was saying that in her comment section, she's been berated with racist comments nonstop of her face put on like animals. And just like these people mobilizing in her comments. So
mhm.
it's like across the board, this has just opened a floodgate of just hate towards women, period. Cis or trans, but specifically for our trans sisters, y'all, it, all the smoke that you're giving them is not warranted whatsoever. All that smoke that you're giving them, you should be giving to Drew, in my opinion, and the guest.
And that's the frustrating thing, right? And perhaps that's like a deeper question about, or conversation about the internet as a whole, as like a
Mm-hmm.
is First of all, TikTok very much feels like the cops as of late. Um, Especially when I'm looking in some of these comment sections, which is why I
Mm-hmm.
prefer just to interact with my book and teacher content and be about my day. Um, but the way that people dogpile is insane
Mm-hmm.
to me. And I just feel as though like I mean, one, the internet's like not that fun anymore.
No.
Um, Now that the toothless wonders of the South have gotten a hold of social media, and
Mm-hmm.
also the toothless wonders of the North. Let's be serious. This is not a South
Yeah.
versus North problem.
The
This,
toothless wonders of the country.
this is an ideological problem,
Yeah.
and ideology does not know borders. Um, Wait, write that down. That kind of banged. um, it's I don't know if I could live with myself personally without
Mm-hmm.
acknowledging in a meaningful way any form of being remiss for my comments being
Mm-hmm.
ammunition needed to go after a population of people that didn't deserve it. Because
Yeah.
like the crazy thing too is because like the internet does forget. The internet always forgets. Except like in cases of like Onision. but like But like the internet almost always forgets. And so what's crazy is if like Drew and ER Fightmaster had just gone on there and apologized and been like, we
Mm-hmm.
did not mean to sow a divide between cisgender women and trans women by our comments, this shit would have blown over with a swiftness.
Mm-hmm.
But Drew can't stop talking about it. Drew stays in people's comments, trans, cis, and otherwise, her own fucking comments.
Mm-hmm.
She has now put out another podcast episode with her sister about the situation. And it's like, dude, why are you acting like everyone who's coming for you is a psyop? Not everyone's a bot. Not everybody is like being paid to be like coming for you. You offended people.
Right.
And it's like starting to sound a little delusional. And I think that's my frustration with the whole
Mm-hmm.
thing is like, it's not just that you two said what you said. It's not that you two said this divisive thing that has deeply affected trans women and cisgender women alike, but you're being so defensive about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's kind of like it makes the apology mean nothing.
it,
Or apology.
it's starting to feel like Drew put trans women on a pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
And she feels like she's taking them off. And I'm not trying to speak for Drew by any means. Drew is a grown
Mm-hmm.
up woman. She can say whatever the hell she wants to say.
Mm-hmm.
And she continues to do. But like,
Cake said, hold on.
um, but it feels like she put trans women on this pedestal because of her own issues with her own womanhood.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel as though the way that she's acting is like, well, if I acknowledge that I also said something damaging about a cis woman's experience of womanhood, that I'm like disappointing this demographic of women that I put on a pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like where you can just acknowledge that you said something inflammatory about both groups of women.
Simple as that.
Like I really don't understand why like apologizing is difficult for people. I apologize all the time.
And it's getting harder and harder for people, which I don't understand. Like, well, also, we know that we're currently in an age where accountability counts for nothing. Well, there is none. So, therefore, apologizing then becomes more difficult,
And
which
that's
is not.
incredibly strange to me because
Yeah.
I will apologize for just about anything.
Same. Same.
Because
Even when I
because
don't need to.
Well, because to me, right, for one, it's about intent and impact. It's not about
Mm-hmm.
intent, it's about impact. I may
Mm-hmm.
not intend to say something harmful, but if it comes across as such, that's the impact.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what I intended to do. The impact was what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I will apologize for that no matter what. But also, you cannot discredit how you made somebody feel. You don't get to
Mm-hmm.
disagree with how your actions made other people feel. And like that's what's really getting me stuck on the Drew
Mm-hmm.
Hall of it all is that like your actions hurt somebody, several somebodies. You don't get to disagree or call people out of their names or call people pathetic or idiots or turfs or whatever
Mm-hmm.
when you insult them. You don't get to disagree with how your actions affected another person. And it's incredibly telling that she's not really paying attention to these comments whatsoever because she's then turned around and called several trans women in her comments turfs. And they've had to be like, if you read my fucking comment,
Then you would know who you're talking to.
and she's like turned around and been like, okay, and so just admit that you're not upset about the fact that like trans women are being affected by what you said. You're more mad that people are yelling at you for saying something fucked up. But let's be so clear, Drew follow for the intersectional feminist that she claims to be is an extremely male-centered woman as it is.
Well,
So,
yes.
and like I really hate to say it because I used to love her content, but like she's bitter and she's male-centered. She built her platform on making fun of bald men, which love, don't get me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but then you sit there and turn around and like comments that like cisgendered women live for men. Please. You
It's
make
just
money
a
because of
receipt,
men.
a laundry list of things where it's like this entire rant of hers and conversation of hers, both on her end and the guests' end, gives like you all are sitting there projecting.
I mean, if I hadn't been as well therapized and like wasn't writing in my journal every day, I suppose I'd be projecting my opinions on other people too. But like I have a lot of grace, dude. Like Drew's a human being. ER fight master, dumb as a fuck of a name as that is a human being. Um, but part of being human is accountability and apologizing. And it's actually kind of a fucking shame. Like, I know that I just roasted Drew's career a little bit, but like, it really is a goddamn shame that she made such a relatable platform off of
Mm-hmm.
like, fighting back at men that were biting
Mm-hmm.
her, all to tarnish it over her response to this. Because
And
if
not lift her foot up off it either.
the thing too, right, is like if this podcast episode came out a year ago, but then the podcast channel reposted it, these far right people would have never found the video.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going a year back in your fucking podcast clips.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what was this all for?
But also, what was the point of reposting it?
Well, yes.
Like that too. Like, all right.
Well, yes.
What was the goal?
I mean, probably she thought that she was going to get the same reaction that she got the first time she posted it, which, whatever. I get that that's part of the social media strategy is that like when something does really well, you post it again. Like
And that was what she picked.
yeah, I fucking yes, dude. But it is really a shame to see somebody who, technically speaking, claims to be an intersectional feminist
Mm-hmm.
completely obliterate her reputation online because she can't just like stop and step outside herself for a moment. Can, she agrees.
It, Cake said, actually, let me give my 2 cents as well.
She said, I got something to say.
Oh. Thanks, Diva.
Okay.
But
Okay. It's always these fucking cats that want to chime in on our episode.
what is her goal? What is she trying to get to?
Girl, beats me.
But we sisters, we need to stand up together
Yes.
because stuff like the pitting against and the pointing, it's not going to help us. And to the people who egg that on, find a new hobby. Maybe go to therapy, look in the mirror.
Get a job.
Yeah. It's very jobless behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is calling me? What is going on?
They said, call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
What the fuck?
Is it the spy? The spy on the computer said, "Hey, let me get in the podcast episode real quick."
Dude, the CIA got my ass. I'm talking about trans women and now they want to mark me. I would die. I would die for my trans sisters. So
I'd be at the front lines.
Get up off my line.
At the front line. But yeah, the pitting and the othering has got to stop. It's got to stop because we're all fighting the same enemy.
Dude, we really are. And like all of our existences are valid. Even the people I don't like all that well, technically speaking, I do.
Heavy on that.
I do, and that's the point, right? When your beliefs are intersectional, is that the rules do apply to everybody. I do believe everyone deserves to be free. I do believe everybody deserves the right to basic human rights. I do believe everyone deserves the right to housing,
food,
like even people
living wages,
even people I don't fucking like.
Education, all of it.
Like,
point blank period.
It's just incredibly disappointing because you do see shit in the news about how women are under attack and how trans women are under attack and how queer people and like the other to the eye of this like wannabe ethno state that is the US. And it's incredibly frustrating to see that and the conversations, especially with influencers who are left leaning, the way that they seem to be responding to this is to then other part of their own community, and it's like
you're just feeding into it.
It's like how have you gotten so radicalized that you sound like a Republican?
They went so far left or right.
It's just frustrating. But that being said, y'all, protect the dolls, arm trans women,
Arm the dolls.
Because statistically speaking, they do receive the most violence at the hands of the patriarchy. See, that is a Googleable fact.
It sure is, and Google is free. Learn how to use it properly. And stop using ChatGPT.
For real, bro.
Please.
That's our gospel. Take it from the two of us. No more. Stop using AI.
Because learn how to research. We used to do it better. I know everybody who listens, we're all around the same age. We used to write papers with a book and a slight will to finish a paper.
Sometimes I didn't even have the book.
But that too.
And I was still getting A's and B's on them shits. You know,
handwriting papers. Y'all can do it. Research. Read.
That does bring me to our diva detention.
What's your diva detention for this week?
So I've been seeing parents on TikTok. I need to get off that fucking app, but that's a story for a later day. I've been seeing parents on TikTok talk about how kindergarten's too rigorous now.
Excuse me?
Yeah, they mad as hell that their kids are dumb as hell going into these schools and they can't read what everybody else's kids can.
Wait, so they're mad that it's too rigorous?
Yeah.
But their kids can't read.
Right. So I think a lot of I think a lot of these new parents these days are having vanity children and they're not viewing
Well,
them
yes.
as people. They're not viewing them as people at all. And a lot of them, which is so funny because some of these are the same people who, in the same breath, are calling kindergarten too rigorous and talking about how they kids can't read, are also talking about how they want to pull their kids out of public school and want to homeschool them in their little fuck ass apartment.
But in kindergarten, you're literally learning like your colors and ABCs and like simple math, like 2 plus 2.
A lot of schools, apparently, kindergarten's full day. Um, Kids are learning more complex for their age range. Not more complex, generally speaking, but more complex for their age range of like
Okay.
forming sentences, right? And like
Yeah.
comprehend, read, and write. That being said, a lot of kids should actually be going into kindergarten knowing like the basics of reading.
Yeah. I feel like this is
Because
where have
this
these people been?
is
Because
the
I feel
job.
like we were learning these things in kindergarten, even in preschool.
I didn't
If
go to
you went to
preschool.
preschool,
I don't know about that,
period.
but
It was a good time. It was a good time. It was still like learning your colors. You still had like at least story time, so you were kind of learning how to read, ABCs, all that kind of stuff. We
baby,
had like times where we learned how to like present.
bro, these people are sending their kids to school and they can't tie their shoes yet. That was a requirement for me to start kindergarten
Well, I will say in a couple schools I've heard about, there are still kids in diapers and aren't potty trained.
at 5. At
Yeah, girl.
5?
Yeah, girl. There are still some kids who are wearing diapers, even at like 4. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't even know where to begin with that.
Yeah, girl.
So I think a lot of these new parents, and I'm not even going to blame this on teen parents or young parents because, case in point, my nephew was born to two young parents, and
Mm-hmm.
I got to give them their tens where I give them their tens.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a good job with that little boy. Um, there are some parents out here though who have kindergarten age kids, COVID babies. You know what? That's really the unfortunate thing. These are COVID and 2021 babies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they got knocked up over the pandemic because they were in their house bored, and they forgot about the fact that life with the baby does continue on after you finish
Mm-hmm.
listening to the audiobook of what to expect when expecting, because
Right.
clearly parents can't read either. Um, you have to teach your kids the basics of you are your kid's first teacher.
Education doesn't start or stop at school.
You have to.
Reinforce it.
You have to start it and also reinforce it.
Mm-hmm.
My mom and my grandma were teaching me how to read childish ass picture books before I stepped foot in kindergarten. I could read before I was 5 because my village that was helping raise me
Mm-hmm.
taught me how to read. That is what y'all should be doing. So when you've got kindergarten teachers sending you your newsletters telling you your kid should know the basics of how to read, and we are going to build on those schools, that is not kindergarten being too rigorous. That's you being lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all done clocked out before you even had to clock in.
No more bedtime stories.
See, that's what gags
No
me.
more
You don't
hooked
read to
on
your kid?
phonics.
You, y'all don't read to your kids?
Y'all don't sit with your kid. They just put an iPad in front of their face.
And that's what how does your kid not know how to read when they on the iPad? As if these apps don't have words. Like,
They can check out in the app store just fine. But have them read a chapter book,
right, bro.
you ain't
Your
screaming.
fucking your 5-year-old is running up a band on your credit card on some Roblox, but you can't teach your kids how to read. They're saying accept purchase because you've got their thumb on your lock screen, but you can't keep. They have their face. They got their baby face on your Face ID to spend your money on these kid apps, but you can't teach your kid how to read. Okay, I just think that like parents need to lock in, like,
Yeah.
and I know that I don't have kids, and so a lot of parents are like, well, you don't know what it's like.
But
Girl,
also,
I
we
don't
see
need
these
kids.
kids at school. We're at work and school more than we're at home. These kids are at school more than they're at home. If Louis Susie can't read, I will like, yes, interventions need to happen, but also what are we doing to reinforce that at home?
I think I need a cool cigarette to numb the pain. Like the illiteracy that's oh my god, it's taking out by storm. Although I will say a silver lining to all of this is they are bringing phonics back to the schools.
Thank God. I didn't see that announcement.
Good news. Well, at least in my school, they are bringing phonics back to the
It
kids
needs to happen. Like,
because
I'm doing a big kind of like, I'm trying to inject literacy into everything that I do. As you don't know, I teach science. Um, and I was telling Kyra about this game called What Did She Say? And it's basically if I say a word like, oh my gosh, this phenomena perplexes me. They go, what did she say? Because my kids are always saying that I use words that they don't know. Perplexed. Let's write it down. It's then up to you to find out the definition, which they will use a physical dictionary. Look at the definition, write it down, use it in whichever way you feel comfortable. You can write it in while you're answering a question. You can use it in an answer verbally while you're in class in a conversation that we're having in class that day or at some point that week. But learn some new vocab. Learn the meaning of words and how to use it properly. Like, come on. Words mean things.
dude, if that isn't the thesis of this damn episode,
Words mean things. Um,
it's just really frustrating to watch a lot of you guys start your kids off stupid. Because that I think that is just such the biggest. First of all, having a baby is one of the most selfish things that you can do because none of us has to be born. Our parents were
yeah.
selfish when they made us. You're selfish for making your own baby. When I eventually have my own kids, I will be selfish for doing that because I'm doing it because I wanted them. They're gonna come out not knowing that they didn't want to be born, but it doesn't fucking matter. Like it is the most selfish thing that a human being can do is to bring a life into this world. And it is it's tenfold as selfish to then set those babies that you made up for failure.
Mm-hmm.
The
I agree.
best, like, you should always be wanting the best for your kids. And the best for your kids is not your opinion based on some pseudoscience and like the roadkill worm in your brain. It is, it is the data backed resources, i.e., public school, i.e., helping your kids read, i.e., helping your kids nurture their minds.
And let's also be clear too, we're not talking about the parents who either also have a reason where maybe they aren't literate themselves or their kids are going to school here and English is not their first language.
Oh,
Like if
absolutely.
there is like a hindrance in the way of you doing that, we are not talking about you. We're talking about these people who are out here putting an iPad in front of their kid's face while they play on their PS5.
Yeah, no, let us be clear. We are not also I want to be so clear also when I talk about intelligence, I know that I sound very flippant. I do not think intelligence is the marker of a human being. Um I think it's very difficult to measure intelligence. IQ tests are incredibly problematic.
Mm-hmm.
Um however, by not encouraging your kids to become nourished mentally,
Mm-hmm.
you're doing them a huge disservice in the future.
Yeah.
It's not your fault if you don't speak English and your kid can't speak English and then they have to go to public school and they have like the uphill battle of having to learn their own language and also English on top of that. Nor is it your fault if you were failed as a child and now you're an illiterate adult. There are adult literacy programs and you should look into them. However,
And some libraries give them for free too.
man, talk to your neighborhood teacher and see what they offer.
That is true. Even
Lots,
ask for like resources, like what are they doing in their classroom?
look, lots of us don't get paid over the summer.
Yeah.
So lots of us are looking to make a quick buck and will gladly work to help you.
Tutor.
Case in point, I do not get paid over the summer.
Which is so messed up that they traded that for what did they trade? Like an extra 6 days or something? Not the
Oh,
10 days.
I'm gonna look into what I told you because I can't recall off the top of my head. I don't want to be misinformed on the podcast after I just like ripped into somebody. So
My diva detention is I feel like I got a couple options. Men,
yeah,
just the brazen audacity. I went on a little rant on Instagram today. Yeah, girl.
I gotta check that after
It,
this.
it was just like lining up all the crazy things I've been told. Like you have 12 minutes to convince me why I should date you.
Die.
Excuse me, Gerald. Choke. Um, that's crazy. And then to be like, well, look at me. Why wouldn't you want to be with me? Bro, look at me. Let's talk about that. Oh yeah, I
Girl,
can't. And the response was, oh yeah, I guess I can't complain.
where's my gun? What's crazy is you did tell me. Okay, y'all, for those listening, Donovan and I literally talk all day, every day. There's rarely an
Literally.
hour that goes by where we are not interacting. We have a very we have a codependent interact. We're
That is
codependent.
true.
Well, actually, that's a lie. When we're both teaching and we're both like working, we're not
But we still
speaking.
talk every day nonetheless.
But we do. We speak for several hours
We do. We
out
do.
of the full 24. I still can't get over the fact that that fucking man said you have 12 hours to essentially
12
pitch
minutes,
yourself.
girl. 12 minutes.
12 minute, my fault. I misspoke. The fact that this man got up
Crazier.
on here, like, this is not a Madonna song. Talking about you got 4 minutes to save the world. Like, what the hell are we talking about?
There's perks to dating me. I
Yeah,
said,
like
what
you
is
dying
that?
one day and leaving me your fortune. You taking out a life insurance policy and conveniently passing away so I can collect. Like, what are we talking about?
And the perk slash response being, look at me.
Die.
I actually had to walk away from my phone. I was like, there's no way. No way. And then the new one, I don't know if I told you about this one. The new one is finding out I'm a teacher. And they're like, that's hot. And I said, may I ask why? And I've yet to get like a solid response from anyone. I'm like, do you think I'm gonna like put on a teacher costume or something? Like, I'm sitting here with my meal prepped meal, my Owala, and I'm crying over getting my grades in on time. Nothing hot about that.
See, if we say that shit, I have to check your Google Chrome history.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. I said, now I know what you're doing at 2 a.m. on Google. So, unmatched block. Yeah, girl. Yeah. The trenches. The trenches aren't even the trenches. The streets aren't even the streets. The sewer has risen to street level and it is now sewage floating up and down the sidewalk.
The rats don't run this city. We do.
I'm uh, like I'm gagged in the worst way. 12 minutes to convince me why I should date you?
I'm just confused because I thought the men were complaining about the loneliness epidemic. Like, it sounds like y'all have a shortage, not us.
Y'all are bringing it upon yourselves.
Like, I'm not too good at math, but I do know basic supply and demand chain, like, economy.
I do know that this 2 plus 2 is not equaling 4.
But, like,
Right.
But
My Blabber
no.
is gassed,
Like,
and it's
are you,
great.
this bitch just knocked my phone off the desk.
She says, "Stop,
Well, because
cut it out."
I've got my little Lily and Melly,
Oh,
and she just came up and she pulled my shit right off.
oh, she said, "Let me get that."
Where'd you, bald bitch, where'd you go? I'm sick of her ass.
But girl, that's my due detention. In short, I'm just like, y'all are despicable and disgusting.
Well, girl, trust and believe they will be dealt with.
They will.
I'm
They
in my hall closet casting spells.
Girl, well, folks, that's our episode. Um, listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. We are everywhere. We're in your walls. Um,
It's true.
we will see you weekly in the third stall. We're, doing some renovations. We have a nice hand dryer, some nice fresh soaps. Just
Oh,
make
wait,
sure you
that's
get out.
we just got an essential oil diffuser. So you can take a fat shit in here and nobody's gonna know.
It'll be masked.
Mhm.
I mean, do what you gotta do, girl.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's all we have for you.
Probably next episode will make you laugh again.
Right. And we too will laugh.
We
Um,
have some things on our mind today.
follow us on social media. Follow the podcast on social media. And yeah, get out. Wash your hands. Bye.
Bye.